Beautifully done. He's got a consecutive. Sonic Heroes gets a consecutive and a... Great turn from both trucks. It's close, but it's Medusa by inches. Both trucks with another great turn. Zombie clipping the jump, but it doesn't matter. Zombie is gonna over the nose here. Rough hit on the front end. Rolling the truck over the kicker. Crooked, she needs to watch out here. Oh no, down she goes. Oh my goodness. Hello everybody and welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium for the Rorsrps World Finals. My name is Preston Vieira and I am joined by my very special co-host from the T.ray channel here on YouTube. It's Tyler Rayas. How you feeling heading into racing, man?
I am so excited. Thank you so much for having me here. You know, yesterday we had an incredible qualifying bracket. We had some ups and downs. We had some fast passes and some slow passes. And here we go. We're going to get to the nitty-gritty of racing to crown ourselves a World Finals champion. This is what we've all been looking forward to. And this is what the drivers came here to do. And this is going to be a good day of action.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And you mentioned qualifying last night, and I'd say that this track was definitely a challenge for our 24 drivers. Only 2 out of our entire field had DNFs, but a couple more had some rough passes, especially when comparing with our fastest qualifier of the night, Zombie, who ran a fast time of 32.04. And now that we've seen some drivers burn through this layout, and some not so much, who are you leaning towards for a World Finals Racing Championship, and what do you think is going to make all the difference here in Vegas?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is all the practicing that we did and all the qualifying. Medusa was incredibly fast, very consistent, had a little bit of ups and downs, but when she found her style, she really rocked and rolled. Of course, the one that you're going to have to watch is the Maximum Destruction and the Max D, those Ment-style chassis, the Willman-style chassis on this course with the berms. You know, we saw a lot of that kind of hinder their performance a little bit in the turns and slow their passes down, so they really have to be careful going up and around, especially when they go around the berms. But my money's on Zombie. He was so consistent. Zombie was one of the fastest passes we had all night long, and it was an incredible night of action for qualifying. But here we go for racing. My money's on Zombie. I think he's got it in the bag.
Absolutely, and you mentioned Max D, but you mentioned those berms, and that is something that these drivers are going to have to watch out for. Max D took a spill, but I am looking forward to him potentially improving. But we've run all the qualifying passes, which have given us our official racing seeds. Let's check out our BKT racing bracket for tonight. Getting started, we're going to kick things off with Gravedigger versus Avenger. Scarlet Bandit is going to come out next, facing off against Maximum Destruction. Grinder is going to be taking on Captain's Curse. Dysfunctional against Sudden Impact. And then we got Megalodon versus Max D. Donkey Kong is going to be taking on Predator. Mohawk Warrior Fire is going to be taking on Sonic Heroes. And Soldier Fortune is down at the bottom on the right side of your screen, taking on Medusa. What are we looking at for our top 8 seeds, Tyler?
These are going to be some fast passes right off the bat. Predator and Donkey Kong were pretty good on the right side of the bracket. They got to go. The winner of that goes against Bad Company, who was wicked fast in qualifying. Of course, on the left side, Avenger and Gravedigger also laid down some sweet passes, but the winner of that race has to go against Zombie, and that's going to be a tough race.
Absolutely, and we are already jumping right into round 1 as our first 2 trucks come out tonight and our first 2 custom schemes. Avenger looking amazing. Gravedigger, I see what they were talking about now, mixing the old with the new. You got that old red primer body with some new touches to it, some flair on that Gravedigger team, and these trucks are coming out for the first time and getting lined up here with the starting line.
This is awesome. Look at this. First race of the World Finals Racing bracket, and they're staged up right now. Gravedigger taking on Avenger. This is going to be awesome. We're going green for the first time in Sam Boyd Stadium.
Oh yeah, and I talked about it last night. Seeing these trucks get to launch off of that starting line is one of my favorites. We didn't have that so much in the past here at the World Finals, but tonight we got 24 passes, in round one, and we're already racing back into Sam Boyd Stadium. Big air over those rollers.
They got to stay consistent around the fun box. This is what kind of tripped up a lot of drivers yesterday during qualifying. It was really tough to get around these corners, but look back to it now. This is going to be a tight race. Hang on, Preston.
Oh, yeah. An Avenger crosses the line and gets that first placement into round two. Both trucks with some incredible passes. That practice last night paid off for sure. They didn't get any passes after qualifying. So, you know, there's some wiggle room there. That 24 hours until the next event can shake up the bracket a little bit.
Yeah, it absolutely can. And Avenger just had him. And how many times do you see Avenger go into round number two? That is so exciting. Here we go. Look at this. Left side of your screen, Maximum Destruction threw up a 33.56. Scarlet Bandit with a 32.44 for qualifying. She's on the right side of your screen. This is going to be tough, but look at the old school throwback body of Maximum Destruction. Man, it is my favorite piece that they ever ran on this truck. Man, it looks so clean.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I wish they would bring it around more often, but here on the Throwback Tour, we've been running it all season, so if you love it, we got all those episodes. Go back and check it out. But these trucks are getting staged here, and we're going green for race two.
Into Thunder Alley, both drivers seem pretty consistent. Now, this is where the tricky turns come in for those Willman-style chassis. It's going to kind of bump them a little bit. And I told you, there it is. Wow, a huge wreck for Maximum Destruction.
Getting back on all fours, but looks like they did shut him off, but he is going to try and, you know, finish at least. That was a rough roll, and this is only race two.
I mean, when we talked about it, you know, and I don't want to take anything away. We've been talking about Maximum Destruction. Scarlet Bandit had a clean race pass. That is going to be one. If she can do that consistently, she's going to make it far in this bracket. But look at this, Maximum Destruction finally getting over the line. That was a rough pass.
Absolutely, and another mistake in that final turn. It didn't even matter at that point. He could have took it slow, but I guess he wants to give these fans a show and keep the ball rolling. But coming out of Thunder Alley now, Captain's Curse on your left with a 32.94, and Grinder, Advanced Auto Parts Grinder, with 32.60 from last night. This is looking like a solid matchup here in round one.
Yeah, you know, when we talked a lot about Captain's Curse yesterday, I mean, he's fresh off that win from, you know, before he came into the World Finals, and so that's got a little chip on his shoulder. He wants to keep that momentum going, but the Advanced Auto Parts Grinder was wicked fast yesterday during qualifying. This is going to be a close race as we get the green light here in Las Vegas.
Both of these trucks waving those flags. Advanced Auto Parts with the checkered flag. If you know your monster truck history, you know the significance. We'll see how he does here in round one as we're headed into these berms. Perfect
turns almost for both drivers. Not bad at all.
Grinder looking tight around that Thunder Alley.
Oh, wow, these drivers are consistent. Super close, both around the fun box now.
Neck and neck.
This is going to be a tight race.
Into this final turn. Both trucks looking good. Grinder a little tighter, and it pays off. Heading over the line, Grinder moves on to round two, bumping those barriers.
Had a little speed right there. Had to settle her down and slide into the dumpsters. A solid pass from Captain's Curse, but Grinder will take the win here. And, you know, that's a little bit of an upset because I kind of had a little money on Captain's Curse, especially for after he qualified yesterday.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And seeing him all season, I was right there with you. But sometimes it just doesn't happen, man. Sudden Impact now coming out on your left, rocking 0 racing points for the season. Dysfunctional with a 32.46 from last night. One of our relatively faster passes, you know, top 14. But we'll see how he does here in racing tonight, and if he can knock out the 0 racing points driver, Sudden Impact.
Yeah, Sudden Impact, you know, old school meets new school with this truck, and it looks a killer. And I think he's just excited to be here. But make no mistake, upsets have happened before, and you never know who's going to cross that line first.
Absolutely. In racing, anything can happen. One slip, and you let your underdog pass you. So heading into these berms, both trucks looking solid. Sudden Impact is dropping a bit behind them.
That was a clean berm pass there from Dysfunctional, and they got to get in some air, got to settle the trucks down, taking it a little wide around the fun box. Sudden Impact, I thought he was making some ground up here. Dysfunctional keeping it clean, and it looks like he's going to cross the line first.
Absolutely. Sudden Impact clipping that Jersey barrier heading out of Thunder Alley. That did not help him, having to get that truck settled down before that roller so you don't end up into that skills pod. That is something that is unique about this track. Heading down that straightaway, it's not just a straightaway. You got that roller, which if you're a little bit crooked, it could kick you either into the wall or into that skills pad. So we're going to see how these drivers handle that as Max D comes out of Thunder Alley now, facing off against Megalodon Fire. And these two have faced off a couple times during this season on the Custom Chaos Tour, and they're doing it again here in the World Finals.
Yeah, they are no strangers to each other. They know how each other's race, and sometimes when you go up against somebody so often during a season, you kind of learn how they stage, how they turn, how they drive, and you can kind of adjust your driving style so that way it gives you a little bit of an advantage. But so let's see if they kind of play that into here. But like we've said, Maximum Destruction earlier had a wild rollover in those berms, so Max D's got to be careful.
Absolutely needs to get those gremlins under control, or at the very least, take it a little easier going into those berms. A lot of these guys are trying to be super fast, and that can get you or get your truck upset. And that is not the way you want to go out. Here's his chance right here, and it's looking like he's improving.
That was a good turn from Max D, but Megalodon Fire is right on his heels.
Oh yeah, dead even going into this fun box. Beautiful turns from both trucks, and this is another thing. Max D did clip the wall last night, but he keeps it tight tonight, and it is looking good for both of them. Super neck and neck over the line, but it is Megalodon by inches.
Oh my goodness. That was the closest race we have seen so far tonight. I really thought Max D had that in the bag from that last turn, but Megalodon with the slingshot will cross the line first.
Absolutely narrowly grabbing the win there, and I have my money on Max D improving. He did improve, but I was thinking that Max D had that. I thought Max D was going for it, but turns out he was Megalodon Predator, our other one of our other custom schemes out here tonight, rocking the cat body. If you've been with us for all season on the Throwback Tour, he's been rocking that old Dodge, but he brought back the kitty cat. Donkey Kong coming out on your right too, and he had a slip up in the berms last night in this blue lane, so we'll see if he can improve tonight.
Yeah, you know, especially when you're talking about Predator rocking the Pro MT body of that Dodge, that yellow beautiful piece. I mean, it's got to see it all season long. It's so fun. But for the World Finals, you got to bring out the classic Predator. But Donkey Kong's not going to be a slouch here for racing as we go into Thunder Alley.
Oh, yeah, both trucks looking super fast, pulling it nice and tight around that bus. And it's looking like Donkey Kong is going to hold it together in that blue lane. He didn't do too bad in the red lane, but he just got tripped up in the blue lane last night. But he's looking good here, leading into this fun box.
Donkey Kong definitely had a sweet straight stretch there with over the roller. Nice turn so far. Both guys are super tight into the final turn. Here we go.
Oh, Predator edges him out, and that is going to do it. Predator moves on to round two.
There's going to be some controversy in the bids with the Donkey Kong camp because they definitely think they had that in the bag. That was a close race. Back-to-back races have been super tight. This just goes to show the intensity of the competition for racing here as we move on to the next round here, or the next race, excuse me, Sonic Heroes. On the left side of your screen, 32.92 for qualifying Mohawk Warrior Fire, a 32.64 for his qualifying yesterday. So again, very tight in the bracket. I'm excited to see what they can do here as they face off each other.
Oh yeah, and this team's the Sonic Heroes team comes out. They are also one of our custom schemes here. They got a split body, the old classic Sonic Heroes mixed with the new Sonic Heroes right down the middle. And these trucks are getting staged already. Mohawk Warrior, no racing wins. Sonic Heroes, no racing wins, but he did come close back in Oakland at the Spin Master show, and we are launching into Thunder Alley.
Yeah, these guys are super conservative in these turns. You want to be careful, and they're doing a good job. It looks like the blue berm might be a little bit more forgiving than that red berm, but only time will tell as we get down here around the fun box. Oh no!
Sonic Heroes clips it and sends it over. Mohawk Warrior is free and clear to grab a round 2 spot.
Wow. Just as I said that they made it through the berms, and that was the most challenging part of the course, they clipped the fun box, and Sonic Heroes is on its lid, turtled at the other side of Sam Boyd Stadium. But nonetheless, Mohawk Warrior Fire will move on.
Absolutely, and you said those berms are something to look out for, and I couldn't agree more with you. But really, this whole track is something unique for these drivers. It's a mix of everything we've seen this season, really. There's a little bit of some tight turns, which we saw back in San Diego on the Hoonigan track. And then we got some berms like we saw in Oakland from the Spin Master show. There's all kinds of touches from these tracks that we've seen throughout the season. And here's an interesting matchup here. Soldier Fortune coming out on your right, a one-time freestyle champion from this season. And Medusa, one of those trucks that you said yourself you got to look out for, and she is a multi-time racing champion from this season, and she is launching into Thunder Alley, facing off against Soldier Fortune.
Yeah, and just to go on some of her accolades, she is not a stranger to the championships here in World Finals. She's a 2-time World Finals on the Monster Jam circuit. She's a champion there, and so she knows the pressures that come with it as they continue on. And right now, I don't know what's going on with Soldier Fortune, but Medusa has got a substantial lead going into the final turn.
Soldier Fortune was looking decent last night, but tonight she just loses the rear end up too high on that barrier on the exit. And that spun her around, and like you mentioned last night, trying to counteract it with that rear steer just put her in a whole heap of trouble. She didn't roll the truck, but she did put herself out of contention for a win. Medusa moves on to round 2 in our last race of round 1. We're going to get a look at our round 2 bracket here. Zombie is going to kick us off against Avenger. That is a race to watch for sure. Avenger, our tour champion over on the Custom Chaos Tour, taking on our Fastest Qualifier. Sheriff is going to face off against Scarlet Bandit Barbarian versus Grinder. Rageaholic is going to take on Dysfunctional. Son of a Digger versus Megalodon Fire. Bad Company versus Predator. Skeledragon versus Mohawk Warrior. And Thunder Rorsrps is going to be taking on Medusa. And we saw them face off back in qualifying last night.
We did, and Medusa and Thunder Rorsrps both very heavy hitters. So I'm excited to see that matchup as we get on here into round number 2. Avenger on the left side of your screen with 178 points will take on our Fastest Qualifier. Zombie matches him with the points of 178. We've been talking about Zombie a lot during this broadcast, and especially during qualifying. So if you haven't seen qualifying, go back and watch that broadcast, because Zombie was absolutely on kill, but you cannot discount Avenger making his way into the second round.
Absolutely. He was pretty low in our overall standings for qualifying last night, but you cannot count anyone out. As we mentioned earlier, anything can happen here in racing, and Zombie did have a major slip in the red lane in the run box section last night. We'll see how he does tonight as they launch into Thunder Alley, and who can hold it together the longest.
Yeah, that's going to be the main key, right? Who can hold it together the longest? Going around the berms, both drivers taking it nice and easy now into that tight turn in the Thunder Rally. This is where you can open up the motor a little bit, stretch your legs over the roller. But now around the fun box, you have to stay consistent. This is where Zombie messed up yesterday, and Avenger kind of took it a little too wide.
Absolutely. Rear end washing out just a little bit, and it washes out even more in the final turn. Zombie moves on to the semifinals, and that was your call.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. I know from a driver perspective for these guys, they don't want to win like that. They want to win straight up. So having a driver, wash out or flip over, those things are, a W is a W, right? And I know Zombie's going to be stoked, but Zombie cannot think that he, came out here and waxed Avenger. He's got to stay focused, because he's got to lay down good passes. As we get on to our next race here, Scarlet Bandit with 83 points on the left side of your screen, knocked out Maximum Destruction earlier. Sheriff with 93 on your right side of your screen, rocking a new scheme here, it looks like. Looking good, too.
Absolutely. Sheriff is one of our custom schemes. Kept it pretty classic, but as I mentioned yesterday, has a couple touches that'll just freshen up the truck, and you love to see it. You don't necessarily want something completely different all the time. Sometimes you just want something fresh.
You do, and sometimes that's just enough to give you a little bit of swagger as you come into the stadium, especially for racing where intimidation counts. We're going green here in round number 2.
All of these trucks launching off the line, not too far in points either. Sheriff, nice and tight, drifting that truck into the embankment there. And Scarlet Bandit, not one this season to be the racer, but she did pretty well later on in the season, but she's struggling here in round 2.
Yeah, she washed out a little bit of that Thunder Alley area, but made it back. They're not too far off here, Preston. Sheriff tags the wall and straightens out. Scarlet Bandit didn't have a clean pass either, but she made it across the line. Oh, Sheriff, get a little cattywampus.
What a finish there from both of these drivers. As you said, Scarlet Bandit did have another mistake there in that final turn, but Sheriff just clipped that wall. That is something that you definitely want to avoid, a slight tap on that wall. Not only, you can be in for some property damage, but it'll send that truck a bit sideways, and you really need full control in that final turn. Grinder coming out now on your left with 95 points from the season, and Barbarian with a custom scheme with 122. He was our fastest and most consistent non-winner of this season. He hasn't taken a single racing win. However, he has made it to the final round multiple times, semifinals even more. So this is going to be a great race here.
Yeah, we call that in the industry, you're playing the bridesmaid, and I think Barbarian is over that. He wants to be the main attraction, the winner that comes out on top. He's got to go through the Advanced Auto Parts grinder. I'm excited to see who can come out on top as they go into Thunder Alley here around the berm.
The 2-time racing winner this season on the Sponsor Showdown Tour, Advanced Auto Parts grinder, keeping up with Barbarian, and they were on the tour together. So he has been firsthand witness of Barbarian's strengths here, and we'll see how this race goes as they're already around that fun box.
That was a tight turn from Barbarian, and it looks like Barbarian.
It is gonna be Barbarian. Look at this.
All right.
Both trucks barely getting stopped there before those barriers. Barbarian advances to the round 3 tonight.
Barbarian is just chipping away, baby. Just keep it going. Stay consistent. Keep the truck cool. That was a tight race. Take nothing away from the Advanced Auto Parts grinder. Definitely came out and threw his best shot into the ring, but Barbarian just had a clean pass as we get ready for our next matchup.
Absolutely dysfunctional coming out on your left, 112 points from this season. Rayaholic, our number 4 spot over there on the Custom Chaos Tour with 115 points, 2 racing wins under his belt for Rayaholic, and he is in our top 8 fastest qualifiers tonight, which means he got his qualification into that 2-wheel skills competition. So even if he doesn't do too well here in racing, which of course he wants to, he has another shot at a trophy in 2-wheel skills.
Yeah, and 2-wheel skills is going to be tight. I mean, we looked at the matchup yesterday. If you watched that broadcast, you know that lineup is stacked. So he's got his work cut out for him. But first things first, we got to go racing here.
Absolutely. Another thing you notice about Rayaholic, if you've been with us all season, you know. But if you're new here, Rayaholic, no body on that truck. He's been running it like that all season, and it just has kept up what we were talking about yesterday, that up close and personal feel with Rayaholic, and the fans love it.
Oh, absolutely. You can see the driver at work. You can see the way the mechanics work, and Rayaholic's on 2 wheels. Oh, and he tags the wall, and he's going to spin out, meaning dysfunctional will move on.
Absolutely, and you can't count out dysfunctional. He has made it to the final round a couple times. Has never taken a win. Bridesmaid, as you mentioned, but he was our first truck of the season to face off in the final round. He faced off against Bad Company down in Hawaii, and I mean, we'll see how he does in round 3. I'm looking forward to it. Megalodon Fire coming out now on your left, 107 points for the season, and Son of a Digger, your number 2 spot on the Sponsor Showdown Tour with 138.
You know, and we talk about this a little bit, and we'll just kind of touch on it. You know, Megalodon Fire's already seen the track once tonight. Yes, they all qualified in practice the last 2 days, but the track changes daily. I mean, the dirt gets drier, it gets or it could get more wet or more worked in, more loose or tacky, and those are going to play a difference here. Son of a Digger is no slouch. He's a professional. He knows how to race, but Megalodon Fire has a little bit of advantage in my opinion because he's already seen the course once.
Absolutely. Any bit of practice you can get day of will help, but they are launching off of that starting line. My favorite here tonight, I got to admit, and we are heading into this embankment. Megalodon Fire cutting it real close to that bus. Could have clipped it. You got to be careful around that turn.
You absolutely do, and you can kind of see he washed a little bit out. He's got to pick up the pace here in the straight stretch. Around the fun box now. Son of a Digger keeping it super tight. Megalodon doing a good job. Oh, my goodness.
From behind, it's looking like he's coming back here, and it could go either way into this final turn, but it's Megalodon Fire coming out on top.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Preston. I did not see that coming. Megalodon was fast, don't get me wrong, but Son of a Digger was so consistent throughout the last few days practicing and qualifying here. That is an upset of the night, in my opinion. That was a good race from Megalodon. He was on kill.
No, absolutely, and that's not just your opinion. That's probably everybody who saw last night's qualifying opinion. He was our number 2 seed. He was 32.05, whereas Zombie was a 32.04. So that is incredible that Megalodon Fire just kept it tight and was able to surpass him. An upset for sure. But now we got Bad Company coming out on your right, and he's going to be taking on Predator, who you mentioned earlier that little bit of practice helps. Predator had a pass tonight, so we'll see if that'll help him here in round 2.
And you're absolutely right. Now, these two trucks are very different. You know, one's a lot older than the other. You know, that old Patrick from the Predator side with the old Hemi motors pushing some serious horsepower. But then in Bad Company is state-of-the-art CRD with the Merlin block. I mean, he's also pushing some serious power. So this is going to be exciting to see as they go around the embankment here in the berm. Absolutely, and whoa, nice, not nice, but a bit of a washout there, but a big washout from Predator. No. I was getting to the point where I was gonna say old can be gold, but it's not gonna. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen unless there's a big slip from Bad Company. That was just an unfortunate washout there in Thunder Alley. He got on the binders. It was not didn't tag a wall or anything, the Jersey barrier, so that helps him out there. But but Bad Company just had his card.
Absolutely, and that is gonna be an advancement into round 3. Predator. A bit ragged edge there over the line, but I mean, giving a show to these fans, you gotta love it.
That was a clean pass from Bad Company, and you know he's gonna have to really keep that momentum going as he moves on in the later brackets, because it's only gonna get tougher as we move on to our next race here. Look at this, left side of your screen, Mohawk Warrior Fire with 112 points, Skelly Dragon rocking 26 points. But, you know, hey, you never know. We just saw an upset. Let's see another one here.
Absolutely. You cannot count him out. He was a sub this season, so he only got 2 shows. He did earn himself a second show by taking a racing win. So we'll see how he does here in the racing bracket tonight in Vegas. Mohawk Warrior has made it to the semifinals a couple times, but no racing wins under his belt. We'll see if that'll shake him up a little bit, or if Skeledragon will be the one to slip. We're going green, launching into Thunder Alley here. Mohawk Warrior, one of those trucks that we talked about getting practice last round, and it's looking like he might have a slight lead on Skeledragon, but it might be too early to tell.
Yeah, Skeledragon came out of that berm just absolutely cooking, but he didn't stay straight through Thunder Alley, so I think Mohawk Warrior is going to be taking a little bit of an advantage into the fun box area, but this is proven to be one of the harder parts of the course, and he clips the fun box there. He's got to make it back. Oh my goodness.
I don't know if it's going to happen, but it is close here. Mohawk Warrior does hold him off, but that was nearly a comeback story.
I don't know about that one, Preston. Skeledragon was, just on kill. That last turn was so tight, but I guess Mohawk Warrior just had a little bit more in the RPMs and took the win. Nice pass from both of those drivers here. Look at this. Medusa, already seen the track once tonight, 186 points. Thunder Rorsrps rocking the custom scheme. Look how beautiful he looks.
Something different for Thunder Rorsrps. Usually we got that gray and red, but tonight it's black and yellow. Most likely repping his season. He was over there on the Sponsor Showdown Tour, where he was the Tour champion, and Sponsor Showdown, black and yellow colors over there. So I'm assuming that's what we're going for here.
I like to think he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan like myself. Maybe that's why he did it. But, I digress. You never know. But it looks good nonetheless.
We'll go with that one. We'll go with that one. Medusa and Thunder Rorsrps flying into Thunder Alley here, and it's looking even. Medusa keeping it relatively clean compared to Thunder Rorsrps and compared to herself last night through those burns.
Yeah, Thunder Rorsrps had some issues in that berm. He went way high. I thought he was going to pop out and roll the truck over. But Medusa has a clean pass going.
And this is a matchup here, to say the least. Both of these trucks have done well, and it is going to be Medusa. But Thunder Rorsrps, even though he had a mistake, I mean, leading up into this race, I was not expecting any slouch from Thunder Rorsrps. He is a two-time Double Down champion over there on the Sponsor Showdown Tour. So, I mean, he had an excellent season. Could have gone either way, but it went Medusa's way tonight.
Yeah, Thunder Rorsrps absolutely just had everything he could do there, but Medusa had his number. Look at this. Moving into into the round number 3 here. On the left side of the screen, Zombie will take on Scarlet Bandit. Barbarian will take on Dysfunctional. On the right side of the bracket, Megalodon will take on Bad Company. Mohawk Warrior Fire will go against Medusa. And we're getting ever so closer to crowning ourselves a World Finals Racing Champion.
Yeah, and we've had some close races so far tonight. Some unbelievably close ones, some debatable ones, to be honest. And I was expecting that later on in the bracket, but it's been a great night so far from the beginning.
But I'm sorry, I just got to say it. Scarlet Bandit coming out here has just been consistent. Maybe the last pass wasn't the cleanest, but she still got over the line first. And now she finds herself where we don't see Scarlet Bandit that often. Round 3 of racing for a world title, where we see her partner in crime, the Bounty Hunter, is usually in these top spots, but she is holding down the fort. But she's got to go through the fastest qualifier, Zombie.
Absolutely, she's been killing it, but hard to kill the undead. We'll see how Zombie does here in round 3 as we go green.
Into Thunder Alley now, around the bus end of the berm. This is where it kind of can make or break. We've been talking about it all night, and you got to be careful coming through there. But both of them taking it nice. But look at Scarlet Bandit.
Absolutely, she did have a little bit of a bobble, but it doesn't seem to hurt her much as she is in the lead heading into this fun box.
Good turns from both drivers. Preston, this is going to be another tight race. We're going to have to watch this one to the end.
Oh yeah, a little bobble or a little clip from Zombie on that fun box, but it is Scarlet Bandit moving on to the semis tonight.
I should have put money on Scarlet Bandit, man. That was awesome. That was probably one of the closest races we've seen all night long, and it's just going to keep getting tighter as we move on to the bracket. But I'm telling you, we started at the beginning of the broadcast. I told you my money was on Zombie, and Scarlet Bandit outdrove him in that pass. No doubt about it.
Absolutely. What an incredible race there. Congrats to Scarlet Bandit. I personally didn't have my money on her at all. Dysfunctional coming out now on your left. Barbarian on your right. A 32:21 was his fast time from last night. And he's looking good so far tonight. Had a great pass in round 2.
It's going to be a tough matchup here. Both of these drivers have, obviously, they've seen the course once already. They've been super consistent. Barbarian really wants that win, though.
Absolutely. Barbarian looking for the win that he was unable to grab this season. No wins under his belt, but he finished 3rd place on the tour, and that's credit to his racing abilities and his freestyle abilities. So I'm looking forward to a great show from him tonight. If he doesn't do well in racing, tomorrow in freestyle. But we are launching out of these berms, and both trucks neck and neck. Barbarian clipping a Jersey barrier a bit.
He's got to be careful. I mean, that's not gonna improve your time, that's for sure. It'll only hinder it. But look at these, both these guys in the final turn here, going for that next spot. Both super tight.
Oh, and it is Barbarian advancing. It's looking like he is on the fast track to his first win of the season, being here in Las Vegas for the World Finals.
Barbarian won that by a tread of a tire. I'll tell you, that was another tight race. Round 3 so far, Preston, has been super close calls.
Absolutely. And I mean, you got to expect it when you get up into these later rounds. It's the best of the best as far as this show goes, you know? Bad Company now coming out on your left, taking on Megalodon Fire.
Megalodon has been super consistent, very fast. I've seen the course now a few times, and I'm excited to see what he can do against Bad Company, because Bad Company had a really clean pass the last time he was on the track, and I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top now. Megalodon back to the blue lane. Bad Company now switches to the red lane, so this is going to kind of play a little factor because you're taking turns in a different order now.
Absolutely, and let's take last night into consideration. Bad Company, one of our top 8 trucks in the qualifying times. Megalodon Fire, not so much. So this, I mean, if you're just going on last night practice time and, you know, throwing in tonight's practice, Bad Company could potentially get it, but it could go either way.
Yeah, it definitely could, and you can see, whoa, Bad Company.
Oh, and he does it.
Oh, no. Oh,
he does
my goodness. We talked about it. You said you've got to be careful. If you clip one of the obstacles or a two-wheel skills obstacle, you're going to go over, and that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely. Just that little bump. It's the small things, man. If you tap that jersey barrier and it sends you just a little bit crooked over that roller, and you clip that skills move, that skills pad, you're done, man. And that just goes to show you right there, it happened.
Yeah, and you can see Bad Company's going to have some work to do in the pits. It looks like it's just a little bit of damage, but you can already see that sway bar on the left side already popped out. They're going to have to take that off. They're going to have to reset it, and they're going to have to assess the rest of the damage as they move on. But look at this. Go into the next round here. Medusa into our next matchup will take on Mohawk Warrior Fire. Both of these drivers have been super fast throughout the entire evening. Now find themselves in round number 3, and they're really going to have to push the limits of their machines to make it into the semifinals.
Absolutely. Our Throwback Tour champion, Medusa, on the left side of your screen. I got to fall back on her racing prowess. You know what I mean? She's been killing it all season, facing off against Zombie in the final round a lot of times. Zombie's out, but Medusa still has a shot. We'll see how they do here as we go green. Mohawk Warrior and Medusa heading into Thunder Alley.
Around the berm now. This is where they have to keep it tight, Preston. You got to be careful. Both drivers looking pretty good. Nice pass. This is a close race already.
Absolutely. Medusa getting close to that jersey barrier. Not touching it, though. Keeping it tight on the exit of that chicane. But she does clip the fun box.
Mohawk Warrior also messes up and washes out a little bit. Hang on. And it's going to be Medusa going on. Right on.
Medusa grabs our final semifinal spot here. I'm in disbelief, to be honest. This bracket is moving super fast, and it's been a great show so far, but we're nearing the end here already.
Yeah, that was incredible racing matchups from all of our competitors thus far, especially in that round number 3. But look at this as the BKT Racing Championship bracket now narrows itself down to the semifinals. Scarlet Bandit will take on Barbarian. Megalodon Fire will take on Medusa. And both of these, all 4 of these competitors have been wicked fast tonight.
Absolutely, and let's hear it for the classics, you know, Scarlet Bandit and Medusa, both having incredible shows here in the World Finals, getting all the way up into the semifinal round tonight. But Barbarian is taking the track now on your left, and Scarlet Bandit on your right. These two did not see each other this season. Scarlet Bandit on the Throwback Tour, Barbarian on the Sponsor Showdown Tour. This is their first matchup.
Yeah, and what better way to do it than in the semifinals? I mean, the winner of this will go to the World Championship final round of racing, and both of these drivers want it bad. Scarlet Bandit has been consistent, but Barbarian is so quick. This is going to be a tight race right here as we lead up to the finals.
Anticipation flowing. I got the jitters. I am excited, and we are flying down Thunder Alley, and this is the point of controversy. I mean, it could go either way, and and there we go right there. That is what I'm talking about. She was looking good through the berm, but heading back into Thunder Alley, she just didn't have it tonight.
Dang, I'll tell you, man, I was rooting for Scarlet Bandit on this race. I'm not even going to lie. I'll tell Barbarian later I was rooting for him. But Scarlet Bandit just took just got out of that a little wide, ended up clipping and going right into the wall for Thunder Alley. She still made it back through and completed her pass, but take nothing away from Barbarian. He's been so consistent, and he moves on to our BKT Racing Championship.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest, I was keeping my eye on Barbarian through the beginning of that race. Scarlett has been super consistent all night. I didn't even expect her to have a mistake. I'd noticed when she hit the wall. So I was expecting her to be right there with him the entire time. But Medusa coming out now on your left, and she'll be taking on Megalodon Fire.
Yeah, this is going to be a tight race here. You have old school versus new school. You have, old driver versus, a pretty good veteran driver. But, I mean, Medusa knows exactly how this course is rocking. But Megalodon Fire has been so consistent throughout all of their passes here tonight. I'm excited as they get staged here. Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. And we're going to move somebody into the final championship race. And I'm excited as we go green.
Oh yeah, and this one could go either way. Megalodon Fire, a racing win under his belt from this season. Medusa, multiple. But I mean, this is a completely new show. Something a lot of these drivers, as far as all track pieces put together, this is something that these drivers haven't seen. Megalodon Fire slipping up big time. And Medusa, it's still neck and neck.
This is close. Oh, Medusa just tagged the wall. And she's going to spin out to boot. Not what she wanted to do. The pressure got to her, and Megalodon Fire moves on to our championship race.
Yeah, absolutely. Barbarian versus Megalodon Fire in your final round. But that last race, man, both drivers, I don't know if it was the pressure. I don't know if it was just, gremlins. I don't know what it was, but both of them having a rough pass.
Yeah, that was just, they've got to clean it up, and Megalodon Fire has to clean it up if he's going to win this event, because he's going against Barbarian, who's been so fast all night long. He's tired of playing the bridesmaid. We talked to him earlier in the pits. He said, I want this. I've been training for this. The truck is ready, and it's just about getting to it now. This is going to be a tight race.
Absolutely, and these drivers are taking a tour around the track. Megalodon Fire with 1 win from this season, Barbarian with 0, but this is a whole new night. That doesn't even play a factor now. It's all about who can keep it tight, who can keep it controlled in these turns, and it is getting down to the line here. These trucks are getting up and getting staged already.
The crowd is on their feet, and they are awaiting for us to crown ourselves a world racing champion. A credible night of action. It's all come down to this. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. We're going to crown ourselves a world title right here, right now.
Blasting off of that line for your final race of the night, and it is neck and neck heading into the berm.
Both drivers super consistent now. This is for all the marbles here, Preston. They've got to keep it going. Megalodon Fire is on a rope right now, but Barbarian is on his heels, takes it a little wide, clips the wall a little bit. Hang on.
Just a bit squirrely, clipping the fun box too. It is, I think it's credits for Barbarian. Once again, the bridesmaid here in Vegas. Megalodon Fire takes the racing championship here in Sam Boyd Stadium.
Wow, what a night of action. Megalodon was on a rope the entire time. Look at the air as he celebrates. Oh, he should. He's a world racing champion.
Look at the sky wheel. He's standing it straight up and down on that center ramp there. And look at the combo with the fun box there.
You think he's excited?
Oh, yeah. Let's hope he can continue with his two-wheel skills entry and keep the ball rolling with these tricks that he's pulling out.
Wow, that was awesome. What a night of racing action, man. Megalodon Fire, kudos to you. You are now the world racing champion.
It's been a long time coming. A season of effort has led to this moment, and Megalodon Fire has finally done it. And, World Finals 1, he is our first racing champion. And something else to note, But Megalodon Fire is our first official qualification into Season 2. So you will see him again, and he might just get another shot at a championship. But here's our two-wheel skills lineup here. Sheriff coming out first, followed by Bad Company, Thunder Rorsrps, Rayaholic, Barbarian, Skeledragon, Son of a Digger, and Zombie.
This is going to be a really tight matchup for all these drivers. I mean, they're so consistent in two-wheel skills. We've already crowned ourselves one world champion. Well, let's do another one. Why not?
Absolutely. These fans love getting an extra show here for the World Finals. Some fans are on the fence about the two-wheel skills competition, but why not? I mean, you're paying the same price for the ticket. Throw it in there. Get another champion and another qualification into Season 2.
Yeah, exactly. You want that qualification. You want to be able to come back out and really defend your title or just defend your performance. And you want to do that here as Sheriff takes the first move here, going for a stoppie, backs it into a moonwalk. Nicely done across the pod. That's a good first attempt.
A solid first attempt, and that's going to get him a 5.527 to start us out for his first hit here. And then we're going to get a second hit. And then both of our hit totals are going to be combined and averaged out for his official score. And he's going for this little adjusted roller here in the straightaway.
Yeah, let's see what he can do here. He's got a solid first performance. Going for a slap wheelie, locks him up.
Nicely
drags the
done.
tailgate. That is a little old school. I don't care who you are, Preston. A slap wheelie is still one of the coolest moves you can do.
Absolutely, and that's a 5.227 for that one as well. Sheriff is going to end up in our first place spot for now. That is a 5.337 to top the leaderboard and start us out.
It's not a bad score there. There's definitely room for improvement. And I think the judges are looking for a little bit of creativity. You know, if we come out here and see the same move over and over, it does get, I don't want to say it gets boring because it's not, but it does get a little bit repetitive. And the drivers have got to be aware of that. It's kind of hard, too, because you're in the back behind the stadium. You don't see what's going on. So you're coming out blind. You don't know what's been done. And so you really have to get creative.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And with being creative, there is some risk there. I mean, you're doing something, as far as you know, that hasn't been seen, and there's a little bit of pressure, as with just being here and performing for the World Finals as a whole. So I mean, it could go either way for any of these drivers, and that's where the skill of two-wheel skills come in. You got to know how to balance that truck, when it needs the gas, when it needs the brake, and look at this from Bad Company.
Wow.
Negative angle and everything, man.
That is some control there. He walks it down. I thought he was going to lose it a few times. Not bad at all for his first attempt here. An 8.248. That is a monstrous first score.
Absolutely, for a monstrous first run. That was awesome. And I mean, kudos just to keep it up on the nose like that, down the entire ramp, facing that negative angle and everything. And we got a different move here. What is he going for? It looks like he's going for a bicycle here in the back corner, trying to fight it and keep it up.
Oh, and he's going to roll it over, and it's going to recover back onto all four tires. A 6.348. That's definitely going to, give him a bigger score here. That was wild. Again, you know, it depends on how you look at it. Look at this, a 7.698. He's definitely our new leader so far. It depends on how you look at it, you know, is during the skills movement, is it, you know, are you looking for saves or are you looking for skills? I mean, it's a combination, honestly, of both, and people's got to look at that as we look at our leaderboard so far. Bad Company leads with a 7.698, and Sheriff sitting pretty in silver so far with a 5.377.
Absolutely, and our next truck of the night, Thunder Rorsrps, coming out onto the track. And I can definitely agree with what you said. Are you looking for saves or are you looking for the skill? And there is a combination of skill and save. But right. I mean, it's just with every one of these fans voting for their score and everything getting averaged out, I mean, there's a good mix, and you could get a good score, you could get a bad score. It just depends on, I mean, how your score turns out, to be honest. And that is a rough first attempt for Thunder Rorsrps.
I think he was going for a stoppie there. He wanted to maybe get it up on the nose. And, yeah, a 2.604. I mean, that's basically all they can do for a failed attempt like that. I mean, they're giving you a little bit of something just for the effort. But, you know, he's going to be upset with himself because that's not what Thunder Rorsrps wanted to do.
Absolutely. and he's going to line up for that same roller that Sheriff took on. And we'll see what he goes for here. He might be going for another slap wheelie with the kind of run-up that he's getting.
Let's see what he can do here. No, he's going to actually go for a popper here, like a little nose wheelie. Going to try to go for – he's got the stoppie already. He's going for – look at this, walking the nose wheelie, though. Oh, my goodness.
Going for distance here. Look at this.
This is beautiful control right here with the truck. I mean, this is awesome. Look at this. Thunder Rorsrps was upset with his racing performance, but it comes out in two-wheel skills with the longest move so far.
Absolutely. And that is another thing. Some of these fans will give you a great score for the time spent on the nose. But, I mean, some of them, you never know. I mean, once you got it up in their opinion. You know what I mean? Nicely done bringing it back around, though.
You're absolutely right. And as from a mechanic standpoint or a technician standpoint, those moves where you're up on the nose for so long is so hard on the trucks. And I think he might have even stalled out there. I'm not sure, but that was an incredible attempt there. So 8.804. So the average of those scores here for Thunder Rorsrps are coming in as a 5.704. So it's not going to be enough for the lead, but that was a perfect second hit.
Absolutely, a great second hit. But this is where that average of both scores comes into play. That first hit really took a hit at him. You know what I mean? It took a big chunk off of that nice-looking score that he got on his second attempt.
So here we go. Rayas now comes back onto the track after his racing performance earlier in the broadcast. He's going to have 2 attempts. He still has to do something here because Bad Company's score was just massive.
Absolutely. I thought he was getting started right there, but he's not.
I was like, okay, we're going to see a little slap wheelie. What are you doing? But he's just kind of giving a little fanfare for the fans in attendance, waving to him. Now, hang on. Lining
up with the backflip ramp?
I don't know. Hang on. Where are we going? Let's see. He's got a plan here. We're just going to have to watch.
Reverse up the center ramp. Popper down onto that center pad. Trying to combo it up onto the nose, unable to pull it off. But that is a better score than Thunder Rorsrps' first hit, a 3.242.
Yeah, that wasn't bad, Preston. I think that is one of a hard move. A lot of people are just going to say, oh, he didn't make it. But when you look at the way that angle of that ramp is, you have to have so much momentum and to get the rear of the truck up to get into a stoppie or even a moonwalk. That's a tough trick he just tried there. So we'll see what he could do on his second attempt. He's going to have to do something big here if he wants to take the lead away.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Look at this. The tombstone from Rayas tonight.
Wow. Oh, he's
trying
to
pull it back over, but it doesn't happen for him. That's a 3.942 for his second attempt, and we're going to have to check out the average score here for his official score, a 3.592 for Rayas.
Now, I'll tell you, at least he doesn't have to worry about fiberglass damage. That's
Absolutely.
Always a plus.
That's one of the things that I was thinking about all season as well. At least he doesn't have to repair all that,
As you're looking right here, Bad Company still holds strong at the top of our leaderboard. Thunder Rorsrps in second, Rayas in fourth, and then in that bronze medal, though, Sheriff still holding out strong. But look at this, our bridesmaid to our racing portion of the broadcast. Barbarian, I don't know if that was an attempt.
I believe it was. He headed into it with a bit of power there. That's a 2.111 for Barbarian.
Wow. Again, I don't think that's what he wanted to do for sure, and I was kind of confused. I thought he was going to take a little bit of a lap, but he was getting right down to business.
Absolutely. There's another one.
Man.
And another, another failed attempt there from Barbarian. Another 2.111. Wow. So that is going to be his official average score. A 2.111 is Barbarian's official score here in Vegas.
And you got to think, too, Preston, I mean, do you think the racing part of the broadcast kind of maybe got to him a little bit? He's kind of upset. He made it all the way to the end, and he only took silver again. So maybe he's got a little bit of issues, but nonetheless, he's a veteran driver. He knows what he needs to do. He's going to buckle up for freestyle.
Absolutely. And one of the other things you got to take into consideration, up until the World Finals, this tour, this entire series has been racing and freestyle. So having to switch from either racing and freestyle to two-wheel skills mindset is kind of a different dynamic there. You want a trick rather than fill the time or rather than be fast.
Well, and you only have 2 attempts, right? You have 2 chances. Freestyle, if something goes wrong, you can kind of fix it.
Absolutely. Look at the slap wheelie attempt from Skeledragon, heading it right into that skills pad and rolling the truck, but keeping it off the wall.
Oh my goodness, that was wild. A 3.658 will be for Skeledragon. I mean, I don't. That's not what he wanted to do.
No,
I think he's gonna make it back here.
Not much in the way of. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from him, but I'm gonna be honest. Not much in the way of skill for that attempt. But it's looking like he's going over here again, trying to get a save off the nose, but it doesn't happen, and that's gonna be rough. A 2.559 for Skeledragon, a rough average here, I am sure, with a 3 and a 2 on the board. It's going to be a 2.759 for Skeledragon.
Well, and the thing too, Press, is when you get into these situations, the pressure's on, right? I mean, you want to perform, you want to do well, and sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and you can see that. Still doing a little bit better than Barbarian there, but Bad Company, Thunder Rorsrps, and Sheriff still holding on to the top 3 spots as we only have 2 drivers left.
Oh, yeah, and here is a fan favorite on the Monster Jam circuit and here on Rorsrps. Son of a Digger, second place on the Sponsor Showdown Tour, and he's looking to show out here in 2-wheel skills, popping it up on the nose.
Oh, yeah, look at this more traditional kind of a 2-wheel skills attempt here. Up on the nose for the nose wheelie, walking it down, trying to grab the brakes now into reverse. Nice moonwalk. This is a good attempt. We saw this with Thunder Rorsrps, but this is on his first move, and that's going to help him.
Absolutely solid first attempt, and he's going to combo it up onto the rear end and setting it down. The attempt is still going, I guess. They're keeping it rolling. What is the score going to be? A 7.757 for Son of a Digger for his first attempt.
Yeah, and it was that moonwalk, man. It was the stoppy, the nose wheelie moonwalk. I mean, people like to just call it a moonwalk, but there's 3 moves that have to happen in that one move. You have to get the stoppy, then you have to ride the nose wheelie, and then you could get into reverse for a moonwalk. And that's a lot of skill that just happened right there as we get into a tombstone.
Absolutely walking it out. And something you touched on, there's 3 moves, but there's a whole lot of skill to combine all 3. So that's where it really comes into play here. Look at the combo from Son of a Digger, popping it up onto the rear end and walking it out a little bit.
That was awesome. That's a good move right there. An 8.757 for Son of a Digger's second attempt. That's going to be a good average score as it comes in from our judges now for Son of a Digger, an 8.257.
And that is going to do it. That takes the lead. But we still got one more truck to hit the track. Zombie's going to come out next. But what a way to top the leaderboard here in Vegas from Son of a Digger.
And you know that's exactly what he wanted to come out to do. He did exactly the moves that he had planned. He did it perfectly. The fans recognize that, and he definitely deserves that first spot. But look at this. Our fastest qualifier, the one guy that everyone thought was going to take the racing win, wasn't able to pull it off. He gets a second chance here at a trophy here in 2-wheel skills.
Absolutely, and he's headed right up the center to get us started here, maybe going for that same pop move that Thunder Rorsrps did, but he's backing off of it.
So he might just be getting a better lining up for a slap wheelie. Locks the brakes, gets it up.
Classic Zombie slap wheelie comboed up onto the top of that center hit and keeping it down on all 4 BKTs. That's going to be a decent score, I got to think.
That's, a 5.57. I don't know what they were looking at. I mean, that was a pretty good move, but hey, the judges have spoken. Maybe it's because he touched all tires back down and they went into the sky wheelie. I'm not quite sure, but he still got 1 attempt.
Potentially, that might have been the issue there, but it's looking like he's going right back down the center and unable to pop it up onto the nose, just clip that chassis, and that took a lot of momentum out of that hit, which is necessary if you want to bring the rear end up over the front.
A tough break for Zombie as his score comes in as a 3.37. So it's definitely not going to be high enough for the lead, and that means one thing. There it is, 4.47. That means Son of a Digger has taken the World 2-Wheel Skills Championship.
Absolutely. Son of a Digger is your 2-wheel skills champion, up at the top of the board with an 8.257. Bad Company, not a bad shot with 7.698. And Thunder Rorsrps wrapping up your podium with 5.704. Now, these trucks will be back for freestyle tomorrow, but that is going to do it for our broadcast today. A pretty decent show. I had a great time in racing, and I had a good time in two-wheel skills as well, and just a big congratulations to that Son of a Digger team.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. Thank you so much, Preston, for having me. We had a great time for racing, good time for two-wheel skills, and it's just been an incredible time here on the broadcast. And look at this, our two-wheel skills champion of the world, Son of a Digger.
Revving the engine up for these fans, getting them hyped, and he might be out here trying to celebrate a bit. Look at the air from Son of a Digger. Giving them a preview of what's to come in freestyle. But here's the thing, freestyle is going to be different. We got a whole night, at least 14 hours here for the track crew to come in and completely rearrange this track, and you're going to get your first look at the track tomorrow. And these drivers are also going to get their first look at the track tomorrow and try to formulate some type of plan to keep their run going for the full 2 minutes.
Look at this. I mean, he's just out here celebrating, doing more of this two-wheel skills, showing you why he's the champion. But you're absolutely right. Look at him. He's just playing around at this point. He's a borderline robot. You can tell why he won. But a perfect night of action, man. It's been so good. But yeah, the freestyle course is going to be completely different, so you do not want to miss it. So make sure you're subscribed and you got that notification bell on so you never miss an episode right here on the channel as we get ever so closer to crowning ourselves a freestyle champion.
Absolutely. Parking that truck up on the center, and that is going to do it for tonight's broadcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like Tyler said, be sure to hit that bell, turn on notifications so you know when freestyle is posted. But be sure to hit that subscribe button. We got season 2 coming up, and head over to Instagram and follow me on Instagram at Rorsrps, where you can put in truck requests, have your say at what tour, what truck gets put on, and a whole bunch more fun stuff. Your opinions can and will determine our season 2 champions. We have 2 trucks now qualified into season 2. That is Megalodon Fire and Son of a Digger. They will be in our season 2 bracket somewhere. So head over to Instagram and follow to have your opinion voiced. But thank you again so much, Tyler Rayas, and be sure to head over to the T.ray channel and follow them over there, and tell them about yourself, Tyler.
We are excited to be here. We appreciate you. T.RAYtv debuting on T.ray YouTube channel. You don't want to miss it. Remember to burn it down, and we'll see you on Freestyle, where we're going to go full boogie tilt.
Thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to stick around, because tomorrow we will see you right back here for Freestyle.